Last time on Kim Rants Too Much About The Sims. There's no straightforward answer for this yet, at least not at the time of this video. There may be one in the future, maybe even minutes after I post this video.
24 hours later.
Took less than a day, but someone's done it. The madman, the genius, all the credit goes to this creator on Nexus Mods. Now, really quickly, Nexus Mods is a site that you have to have an account in order to do any downloading. When you first create an account, it will kind of prompt you to pay, but it's not a paid site, so you don't need to worry about that. But you will need to make an account in order to download this mod because it is exclusive to this website. So this mod will double the amount of students that can show up in your school. In the last video experiment we did, there was a maximum of 16 Sims, so it was 11 students and 5 faculty. This one will actually give you 32 students, so that's more than double. There is reliance on MCCC for this mod, so that will be required in order to have the full number of 32 students actually show up. But we're not stopping there. It's just like last time. I'm a woman of science, and I want to see if we can do more. Basically, I want to see if what we found in the last video and this one, if these mods play nicely together, and if we could get even more Sims showing up on the high school lot. We're going to do 3 different experiments. We're going to do this mod by itself, no MCCC, so that means the maximum number of Sims on a lot will be 20. So I just want to see if it still works the way it wants to. And then that way, if you don't want to download MCCC, you don't have to, and you could still have at least 20 Sims show up on your lot. And then the second experiment is going to be us doing the intended use of this mod, which is having MCCC set to 40 Sims on a lot. And then the last experiment is going to be MCCC plus this mod, plus the more Sims on a lot trait mod, which is the one that we decided on last video would be the best bet to have more Sims show up at your high school. Just like last time, the links to those will be in the description. I should also mention, this is an XML mod. So what that means is there's also a reliance on the XML injector. You may already have this installed because a lot of mods do require this. So this will be another thing that you should have downloaded in order for this new mod to actually work the way it's supposed to. And for those curious, I am in the process of finalizing edits on my 2 gameplay series, and they will both have updates this week. Unfortunately for me and everyone else in my life, I have ADHD, so I don't pick my hyperfixation. My hyperfixation picks me. I've already set my population settings, so we're back at the default 20. I've saved, restarted my game, so we're all good to go and hop into school in the morning. And I'm testing it this way because some people just want a slightly larger class size, slightly larger. They don't want a super cram-packed school, which is fine because not everyone's PC can actually handle that many Sims at once. But I've already updated the school. It's gonna look a little bit different than when we were last here. I've added a bunch more chairs so that we can really get a clear visual as we start getting more Sims into this building. I've also just added a little bit more color so that it's not so drab. I mean, we're going to be stuck in here the entire experiment, so it may as well be colorful. But right at the start of the school day, we're going to do a quick little head count, or we will answer yes. And yeah, let's keep this rolling. Keep giving her the money. Let's do a quick little head count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20. So we are at the max right now, but right from the start, this is really exciting, so we can just fill the classrooms right from there. So this is interesting. All of the students have gone into the first classroom, and our poor second room teacher is just teaching to an empty room. But okay, so we can completely fill up first classroom. So this is 15 students total. I'm gonna add some more desks in here before the next experiment because I want to get another row in here. And this isn't the mod, this is literally just the Sims, but I find it so funny that you will just have students just not attend class or even take the entirety of the class to just find their seat and sit down. That's great. So I think we'll wrap up with lunch and we'll jump forward to the second experiment tomorrow, which will be the mod as it is written in its intended use. So we're changing the maximum number of Sims in a zone from 20 to 40. Save and restart and hop into the stay at school. There were also a few questions in the comments of the last video on whether or not a third classroom and a third whiteboard would impact the number of students, number of teachers showing up, and in my experience, it hasn't. But for the sake of making that clear here as well, I added a third classroom and a third whiteboard. Believe me, it's not the most beautiful architectural design in the world, but that's not really the purpose. Again, we're just here to learn, and we have quite a few students, so this is looking really promising. I thought for a second we actually did have a third teacher, but no, it's just Molly pranking the whiteboard. What is interesting is I'm seeing a lot of very colorful paired Sims, which to me suggests that the game is doing its thing. When there aren't enough teenagers in the world, but there's the default number of students that need to be in a class, the game is going to auto-generate its own new teenage Sims. So I guess be prepared for that. If you do have a lot of teenage Sims in your game, I'm sure you'll be fine, but you'll probably be seeing a lot of really tragic townies in your classes. Look at everyone finding their seats. Already feeling so much more lively, and it's awesome. Our teacher is just standing outside for some reason instead of actually teaching class, but let's take this chance to do a head count. Yuki's getting reprimanded for not being in class in time. But I mean, when we have examples like this teacher, can you really blame her? Class is literally over. He didn't even make it to class. So quick head count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 36, 37. So 37 Sims, 5 teachers, 32 students. It's like a whole school now. This is so awesome. I knew the mod community would pull through on this one, so that's awesome. So tomorrow, we will increase the zone limit again, and we will put the more visitors lot trait back on the high school and see how many more people we just have wandering around in the background. Also, it's career day, so we're just going here, and then I'm gonna kind of fast forward. But okay. Interesting, number of students at career day, still relatively low. So I don't know if the XML injector is specific for the high school or if it impacts the auditorium as well. But this is interesting to note because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 students. And if you remember from last time, the total number of potential students that the game would naturally produce was 11. So we're only short 3. Could just be the game showing us a lower number of Sims who are interested in career day, or it could be that the mod doesn't actually impact the auditorium, which would also mean that prom would also be a lower amount of students. So just some things to keep in mind as possibilities. So again, from the last video, the more visitors lot trait. This gave us an additional like 8 to 10 Sims that could spawn on the lot, so we're going to do that in combination with this more high school students mod. And then we'll have, you know, like the 32 students and maybe like 8 to 10 people wandering around in the background. If we make it there, if Best doesn't just completely bleed us dry by that point, but we will keep giving. That's even just assuming that the two mods play nicely together, so that's part of why I want to experiment, even just to see if they will or not. Our boy Jeb is back. We have some heartbreak in the crowd, but all right. So again, for this mod, we have to set the visitors as teens. So we can now see teens is yes, that's good. So we should hopefully start seeing more teens just kind of spawning in up at the front here. We'll wait for everyone to take their seats, and then we will count how many people are students and how many are random passersby. Hopefully we calm down before then. Oh no, very angry conversation with Jeb. Not Jeb, you guys are good. You guys are cool. You think he's a hottie. Fine. It looks like everyone's sitting down, and for some reason the principal is just yelling at this entire class. Let's do a head count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30, 31, 32 students. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faculty. So again, same as last time. And we have a couple of teens just not really doing a whole lot, but just like last time, if you have different activities and things that encourage people to come into the lot, like we see them kind of going in now, it can look like you have just random other students hanging out outside. But like, they've literally just come in here to show each other their phones, but that's about it. Let's see how many more people we have spawning. We so far have 5 additional teenagers who have spawned outside. So we'll see how many show up by the end of the day. But man, look at this. Looking like an actually populated space. But I feel like overall, with how this mod actually works, you may not need to double up. The creator of the mod also left instructions on the post on how to further customize it. If you want to reduce the number or if you want to increase the number of students, you do need Sims 4 Studio in order to do that. But then after that, it's just really, it's looking for the specific fields and replacing it with the number of students that you want. Our teacher is once again missing from this classroom. He's getting his lunch over here. Apparently he didn't get to take a proper break, so now we're all just kind of studying. But a quick head count before class ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 31 in here, probably someone dishing class. Yep, right here, number 32. 39. 39 teens, 32 of which are students. That means 7 random passersby. So the mod is still working. As we can see, the 3rd classroom is sadly completely empty. So having the additional whiteboard didn't really help us with anything. And then as usual, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 faculty. This poor man is just constantly unpranking these toilets. He's not a custodian, he is a bomb diffuser. So 5 faculty, 32 students, and 7 passers-by. That's a total of 44 Sims on this lot, and with a limit of 50. There we have it. The mod works. It plays well with the original More Visitors lot trait mod as well. And yeah, we now have a more reliable way of vastly increasing the size of our classrooms. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments. And if there are any other types of mods that you want me to look into, please also let me know. I'm actually finding this really interesting to just play around with it, test it, see what works and see what doesn't, and see just how much we can modify and manipulate just with the tools we have available. But yeah, if this is something you enjoyed, please give the video a like and subscribe to stay tuned for more videos like this, as well as my other gameplay series that I currently have going right now. But thank you so much for watching and all of your support so far. Really, it means so much, and I'll see you next time.